All right, buddy. Sure, you can be vice superintendent. I got a lot of work to give you tonight. No, I'm just kidding. Have a seat. But we do want to thank, no, you can sit here. You're good. Go ahead. We want to thank Concord because they're willing to work with us. And a packet with the orange folder is one thing, and you heard me joke around. If you guys throw it away, you throw it away. But you have our information, please use us. And what I liked about Miss Crook is she was walking them through, okay, you're not going to get paid 100%, but I don't know about you guys, but without a whole year. And that's a good buzzword, because one thing I did say to them, how many of you had that talk with the loan officers that after you graduate, what happens 6 months after? You guys start paying back on your loans. So it's one of those things to let them know, this is easy money, you're 30 minutes away. And Dr. Hawks, I agree with you, Mr. Brugger, she's a cheerleader for our county, so we want to continue.
I wish I could read as well as Colton.
You made your principal look good, you know that? That's what you're supposed to do. That was one that we said we would get to you after that first quarter. Guys, we've been to school 10 weeks now. Think about that today too, I'm sure, but we'll give him the floor next time. But our kids are actually enjoying going back to school, good thing, versus where are they? And that's why we have our school system, is because the kids bring the walls alive. But do you want to go first, Ms. Schaefer? Since you're a little bit shorter with your presentation.
That'd be fine.
Is that all right? So this is this is her office, and this is our STEM lab for the 3 elementaries and also title services here. But we're going to highlight the STEM lab for you all, and I'm going to turn the floor over to Ms. Schaefer.
I'd like to welcome you all to the STEM lab. I started last week working with grades 3 through 5 at the 3 elementaries. We're kind of doing I haven't got to work with the kids for a year and a half. So I'm going back and just doing a little bit of working on the last 2 weeks. The plan is to have the elementaries come down for an immersive experience in the STEM lab after when we reach a certain part in our coding. We are working on code.org fundamentals. Then whenever students finish 5th grade, they'll transition the language of Blockly, which is block coding, the digital world into the real world, what we've done. So I'd like another invitation this spring with the kids with us, and a lot more detail in where we've been and where we're moving. You have it.
I think you have
We
that.
talked about coding at one point in time.
I don't remember her name,
But you know how we're talking about coding. One thing that we're learning with coding is there's a lot of coding going on with jobs out there, and it's just a different world now. And these young kids, they're talking in ones and zeros. But what they do and what she does is they bake it at a basic level, but then we ratchet it up. So when we get the kids out to the secondary level, hopefully we can take it to that next level. But I told Ms. Schaefer, I promised her when I came here, I have a mission to get more STEM initiative here. And she said, I want to hold you to it. Well, what I like about it is she held me to it, and she put that on the wall. She's getting all excited, and this is her room. And this is pretty exciting for our elementary kids to have this in our county. And then the new building addition, which we have here, we have a STEM science lab. So we're going to continue this into the middle school, into the high school, because a guy his age, this will be kindergarten stuff when he gets out to the middle school, because he's going to be like, I got this already. So we have to start somewhere, but these guys moving up are going to want more, to be challenged more, because it'll be boring if we don't ratchet it up for them, because the world that's out there isn't a world that gives you the answers. It's all about problem solving, and that's what Ms. Schaefer, she makes me solve some problems. She's very good at what she does, so we're very fortunate to have her on our team.
One of the things that we talk about is we're learning a new language. It's the language, a computer language, and that's what we're working on, is learning a different language.
I'd like to say that the superintendent and his staff did a lot of thinking about this building, and they brought it to this board, what their vision was that they could do with this. This was a somewhat rundown building, I think some of you would agree. It's now a very nice building. It's a building that a resource we had, and the superintendent suggested to this board that we do this. And we were able to use the funding from ESSERF money, telling it with levels as it goes up. And also, it allows, I believe, to relieve some of the congestion and overcrowding in Hinton area right across.
Rayno Medical Center. Marshall, as we move forward, is not there anymore, so we're gonna continue to push that. But that kind of ties in with
And the now I do want to point out that the My Math benchmark covers the whole through 12th grade benchmarks. We've used adaptive to the student's knowledge level. It is 42% below. 4th grade area Alex Math, do the average time spent. So 3rd grade spent an average hours of 2 points. That was a 6-point gain. 4th grade, an average hours of 6.3. Beginning knowledge 25, and they grew up to 41. The program, they recommend that you do the program 1.5 hours per week. So each school is fitting that into their schedules. 5th grade
has been spent per student since the beginning of the school year?
with it, right, from
Okay.
August 23rd to November 5th,
Okay.
yes.
So I gotta ask, saying the whole total time,
That is the whole time.
so we can grow there as well.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Talcott Elementary, for their ELA growth measure, 3rd grade, we have 76% of our entry Alex Math. Again, we have the average hours spent all through that time frame from August 23rd to November 5th. And 3rd grade grew for their growth measure for ELA. 3rd grade, 46% of those students in 3rd are below grade level. Grade, average hours spent is 4.2, and they grew 12 points, percentage points. 4th grade, they spent an average of 7.4 hours, and they grew 17 points. And 5th grade, 3.7 hours with a growth of 10 percentage points. The elementaries build intervention time in their schedule, so daily they have at least 30 minutes math and at least 30 minutes of ELA. And all students get that intervention time. We have and then intensive is that group that our Title I teachers would pull over. 6th grade, we have 62% of our 6th graders below grade level, 51% of our 7th graders, and 59% of our 8th graders below. 6 through 8, Alex Math. I'm hoping I can explain this the way I want, straight into 6th, 7th, or 8th grade math. We put them in the RTI. So once they work in the RTI, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, once their schedule 5 days a week. So they've been using it the longest in the county, but if you look at their hours, so we have a lot of work to do. That's right, the power of yes. We're going to keep working till we get to it. 9th through 12th grade, they took the growth measure for ELA as well. 9th grade is 63% below. 10th grade is 49% below grade level. 51% is below grade level in 11th. And Algebra 1, they had a growth of 10 percentage points. That's our 9th graders. Geometry is our 10th grade class, and they had a growth of 6 points. Algebra 2, that's mainly juniors. Some seniors take that as well, and they had a 6-point gain. Pre-algebra, RTI grade 7 and RTI grade 8. Those are for students who are not ready to go into Algebra 1 geometry. So they are put where they need to be in ALEX according to their knowledge check. And you can see that they did grow as well. It looks like Algebra 1 class spent the most hours working in ALEX. We look at our scores, and we could be a little discouraged by looking at the high percentage in our kids to learn the skills that they need to be successful. And as a district, we are doing some things as well. We have standards-based instruction. We are currently deconstructing our standards in the classroom. No more fill in the blank or multiple choice questions. We want to see them actually put their knowledge to work and work out a problem. That professional development that we're offering for our teachers. All of our new teachers have a mentor, a teacher at their ACE mentor, plus they have a school mentor. So we are really trying to help our ACE candidates. We have works with the teacher.
But we all say, we can't keep looking out the window, we gotta look in the mirror and say, okay, what can math classes? And it has nothing to do with how to teach math. And that's nobody's fault, it's just what it is, and that's been addressed to these colleges. But I can tell you right now, it's good to hear of 8 people wanting to do this on a Saturday. Even though we pay them, it still helps them understand what they can do to make themselves better. So I'm excited we have 8, because it could be 1 or 2. But hey, 8 is a great start at the elementary level, because we gotta build at the foundation level at the K-5 before we hand them off to the middle school. So there's a lot that we're trying, but we gotta hold this data out there and keep going and just owning it and move forward the best we can.
I'm not surprised at the high percentages. Having a child that tried to do the online and you lose that
Yeah.
online. So I'm.
I think that there are many other counties and states in the same situation as us right now.
The good news, you don't have a guy that's gonna tell you that. I can't worry about everybody else.
Right.
We're gonna tell that kid, whatever you are, where you're at, is what we're gonna focus on and how can we get you better. And so what I like is, not only are our teachers accepting the challenge, but nobody's saying it's our fault, but it's our problem. There's the difference. We can't say it's nobody's fault. We have a pandemic. Let's do the best we can and keep moving. But when you have kids who are trying their best, or a young fellow that comes in here, or at the high school level, they go and talk to college kids, there's those soft skills, those just don't get measured. But we still have to get measured, and we need to focus on that. So we're gonna move forward, and hopefully, not hopefully, I about guarantee you that we'll have better data for you. I'm about sure.
Mrs. Jones, that was an outstanding report that covered things very well. Very revealing. I want to thank you. A lot of work went into that and thought, and that's very meaningful data there. You know, we as a board, times what they're criticizing. And I want to say that one of the things that data shows is just what a negative impact staying at home with COVID had upon our children. One of the aspects of all that information you showed there that I'd like to point out, there is a lot of proactive thinking going on in this central office, guys, that is thinking outside the box and finding resources and tools used to help our teachers and our students. And it's all right there. So if you have questions, and before you criticize too much our staff and our teachers and our kids, I encourage you out there, go see the superintendent, go see these directors and say, this is what I see, this doesn't look good. And then you get an opportunity to look at them and say, yes, we agree, as he just did, but this, and we're doing things to help kids. We have a long ways to go. We're not perfect, and we got our problems. But the key is here, if you really, the people who are working on this is a tough task, and our teachers. And we forget too many times, we have a lot of dedicated people who work very hard in this system. And we don't need to throw those people under the bus. We need to find ways to help them. And when you bring these back now, you're going to bring them back, and there's going to be all that growth, and you're going to, and on particularly the ALEKS, for the small amount of time that some people used it, there were some pretty amazing results. So my question is to everybody, if we can use it more, can we get our kids catching up faster? And I think that's a challenge. And so hopefully that we're gonna see a higher amount of time there, an average hours spent on it, Mark, because it showed us in a really bad light, and I hope the teachers, and I know it's a very good program.
On a serious note, when you take a pre-test, so you have to watch that data because you can't say we're not doing the work. But then you also have to say, well, if the kids aren't there, then that means that's where the work begins. If I find half the class knows it, then I gotta start thinking a little differently. I got a lot that don't know it, and I got a lot that do. What am I gonna do to work with those two worlds? So is that basically right with the data? We got to be careful on how you work on making that happen. But I'm very proud of our staff and all our students and our parents. Overall, we've had a really good first quarter because it just seems like everybody's listening and working and pulling together. We're doing pretty good, but we can do a lot better. So January-ish is when the next report will come out. So we'll see you next year with the next report.
And our volleyball team won the sectional tournament and just barely fell short of making the state
All
tournament.
right.
Yeah,
We did all right.
we announced that on the radio the other night and gave them credit for it because
Next-
it's an outstanding job.
I can't pull it up because I'm on my phone, but real quick, Miss Robinson from, she let me know and sent me a text. She's the principal at West. She said our cheerleading coach and the cheerleaders should be commended on their sportsmanship, and their class was above what she would say that is awesome for young people. So considering they didn't go to the next level, which would be disappointing, to me, I know it's not worth much to the kids. Great stuff about our kids. That's pretty impressive. So thanks, Mr. Brogan, for reminding me of that, because I showed my wife, I said, I don't get people that send me good stuff. It's always, hey, you need to work on me, you know what I'm saying? But our Coach Lily and the staff that she works with and the girls, sportsmanship and above classy is what she sent me. That's pretty impressive in a text, so.
Friday night, I saw something I haven't seen in a long time. Our band, under the direction of Mr. Sims, grown to about 22 students in our county, combination of middle and high school. They traveled to James Monroe and put on a halftime show. And that was pretty special. The numbers, I guess,
Because this guy, I think, is gonna grow it real quick, and he is out there a lot, so he approached me. I about guarantee he'll get up and give you tonight.
Down bill, we're going to deal with it first. The chair moves, say the sound bill. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? There's a law. Okay. The remainder of the bills is presented. Help me out here, I'm not sure.
And I think there was a question because it was able to get those state rebates by using the D card.
So this was for information purposes, not. Okay, that brings us down to item 10, old business. We have discussion, possible action regarding the donation of Summers Middle School building to the city of Hinton. I don't think we have anything to deal with that on that now, but that will remain on old business for each meeting so that when that time comes, we'll be able to act.
We had the pre-bid meeting today at 1, came and looked at it. On Thursday, we will have a structural, since we don't have that. So in talking with them and the companies, they wanna make sure that there's something in writing that says, here's what has to happen, and then they'll know how to bid on it as they move forward. One of the but he was there today to answer any questions, and I think he got an enjoyment with this other block guy. He was a hoot, but I will say, there is something that was said by the McKinley group and also the other people who looked at the wall. Nobody's saying that wall's in danger of blowing out right now, nothing that urgent. What they're saying is, if it doesn't get addressed, there could be a problem with the wall because it's crinkling because of the water seepage, and that is causing the crinkle. Cause it to, I would say, fail at some point. Now, what we did find out, Jimmy, was everybody kind of agreed, since that's an old CSX building that had machine work in there, that concrete is thick. Said that, it was a lot of information today, but we will not have the bids open next Monday, to be fair to the two companies that did come, and I said, we'll contact them and say, here's what it is, and then they can give it back to us. I would say at this point in time, it's a to be determined, because I gotta find out Thursday what they say. I hate to give you a date, but I'm looking towards the end of the month, like the 30th of November would be the earliest we could open any kind of bids, because they gotta do their drawings and make sure the companies get equal playing field today. But is there anything confusion? And I don't have a problem with this because of our web page. We have that old web page and our new web page, and I think what's going on, if you guys would like to, you have discussion of possible action to approve the following policies. If you guys would, you could also make a motion to still leave them out for further comment, so we can make sure that people see it in both places. I don't know how else to do it, but we have talked to a company that we're gonna work with to get rid of that old one and clean up the way we communicate to people, because I don't want people to say, I didn't have a chance to look at these policies. So I know it's been brought to my attention that it would be nice to see them. I don't think anybody's having a problem with these policies, but I also want to make sure we give people a fair look at them if you guys want to, because that's been a discussion, and I want to acknowledge that and let you all know that. So I don't want you to make a move without hearing that side of it.
Any thoughts by any members?
I would like to make a motion that
Under 11A, remain on review. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstaining, minutes reflect, we will leave those on review, Superintendent Wardle. Professor, is that you in conjunction with the attorney?
Trey, can you hear me? Walk Mr. Duncan through this and answer.
Well,
Go ahead.
Yeah, basically, I just want to 30th meeting, and I'm planning to be on that one in person.
Okay, that's good. I will get the update on it, and the board will then discuss and possibly take action on those two.
So your motion is B and C?
B and C.
Okay, I want to make sure I got the
Yeah.
notes right.
And so I move that this board recommend that items 11B and C be placed on the agenda for the November 30th meeting, at which time the attorney and superintendent, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained. So just place.
That was easy. You're out of here. Okay, thanks, buddy. All right, bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We went to Concord. I mean, that's
CTR, that's the old TIR. Okay. And what you did is you found.
They did it. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Criticized for, but intended.
One I want to make sure, the Kindle, what do we put in the blank there for?
She's not a CTR. She is a
Student.
She'll be a graduate.
she did her student teaching at. I tried to get her to be a CTR back in the fall, and she wanted to do a traditional student teaching. So,
Which she's
it's
still
worked out.
doing.
Yeah.
And she'll be finishing up, so she'll be, then we have service,
Yeah.
service extracurricular, employment substitute service. You good? Okay. We have before us all these recommendations of the superintendent. As per the Open Meetings Act, they've been properly. Congratulate them all, but those young folks coming from Concord, I know you're gonna tell them the board is really pleased to have them.
The pre-bid, we have to kind of get on them a little bit, light a fire, so, because I'm considered the owner and the firm to get in. It cost the $2,000 extra to make sure this worked out right, but basically, long story short, we have a pump underground, and now we're trying to protect it so people don't drive over. Just want to let you know one little snag that Bob told me. It's again with the fire marshal. Can't make his stuff up. The good to be protected in case there's a fire, because students will be using the facility.
If it's done by then, possibly, the auxiliary building.
Yeah, if it's.
Date that, then on Thursday, December the 9th, will be a board meeting. And then,
That one is the one on the 23rd is early, right?
is that Thursday, the 23rd will be,
That'll just be to pay the bills, basically.
and that's gonna be an early morning meeting. What time do we say? and the one on the 30th and the 9th will be down at the auditorium. Okay. Anybody have anything they'd like to put on the agenda for the next meeting?
I'd like to readdress masking.